Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. In the last part, we had one last side quest around Hyrule, and now it's time for us to finally do our duty here in the Temple of Time. There are 3 hollows and an inscription here. Ye who owns 3 spiritual stones, stand with the Ocarina of Time and play the Song of Time. That is how the inscription reads. Alrighty then, let's do it. Well, that was nice and surprisingly underdramatic. And what's that in the distance there? Link, isn't that? Oh, dearie me, I think it is. It's that legendary blade! The Master Sword! Gotta say, having to get 3 stones to open a door is certainly a lot more meaningful to me than having 3 things to prove my courage and maybe remove some fog in A Link to the Past, because when you get down to it, it's sort of the same things with a different purpose. Excellent work. As I thought, you held the keys to the Door of Time. You have led me to the gates of the Sacred Realm. Yes, I owe it all to you, kid. Link. Wake up, Link, the Chosen One. I am Rauru of the Ancient Sages. Ages ago, we Ancient Sages built the Temple of Time to protect the entrance to the Sacred Realm. This is the Chamber of Sages, inside the Temple of Light. The Temple of Light, situated in the very center of the Sacred Realm, is the last stronghold against Ganondorf's evil forces. The Master Sword, the evil-destroying sword that you pulled out of the pedestal of time, was the final key to the Sacred Realm. Link, don't be alarmed. Look at yourself. What? I'm me? That's a bit different. Look, Link! You're big now! You've grown up! The Master Sword is a sacred blade which evil ones may never touch. Only one worthy of the title of Hero of Time can pull it from the pedestal of time. However, you were too young to be the Hero of Time. Therefore, your spirit was sealed here for 7 years. And now that you are old enough, the time has come for you to awaken as the Hero of Time. Well, do you understand your destiny? I have several questions, but I don't want to be here longer, so yes. But remember, though you open the door of time in the name of peace, Ganondorf, the Gerudo King of Thieves, used it to enter this forbidden sacred realm. He obtained the Triforce from the Temple of Light, and with its power, he became the King of Evil. His evil power radiated from the temples of Hyrule, and in 7 short years, it transformed Hyrule into a world of monsters. My power now has only little influence, even in this sacred realm. Namely, this Chamber of Sages. But there is still hope. The power of the sages remains. When the power of all the sages is awakened, the sages' seals will contain all the evil power in the void of the realm. I, Rauru, one of the sages, and your power to fight together with the sages makes you the Hero of Time. The Hero of Time chosen by the Master Sword. Keep my spirit with you, and find the power of the other sages, and add their might to your own. You received the Light Medallion. Rauru the Sage adds his power to yours. Find the other sages and save Hyrule. Link, we're back in the Temple of Time, but have 7 years really passed? It looks like you won't be able to use some of the weapons you found as a kid anymore. Let's get out of here. Amen to that. I've been waiting for you, Hero of Time. When evil rules all, an awakening voice from the sacred realm will call those destined to be sages who dwell in the 5 temples. One in a deep forest, one on a high mountain, one under a vast lake, one within the house of the dead, one inside a goddess of the sand. Together with the Hero of Time, the awakened ones will bind the evil and return the light of peace to the world. This is the legend of the temples passed down by my people, the Sheikah. I am Sheik, survivor of the Sheikahs. As I see you standing there holding the mythical Master Sword, you really do look like the legendary Hero of Time. If you believe the legend, you have no choice. You must look for the 5 temples and awaken the 5 sages. One sage is waiting for the time of awakening in the forest temple. The sage is a girl, I am sure you know. Because of the evil power in the temple, she cannot hear the awakening call from the sacred realm. Unfortunately, equipped as you currently are, you cannot even enter the temple. But, if you believe what I'm saying, you should head to Kakariko Village. Do you understand, Link? Alright. More than I think I would otherwise. So let's head on over. Now, as Navi brought up, if I check my pause screen right here, you cannot access a lot of the weapons we had as a kid. The Deku Sticks, the Masks, the Slingshot, the Boomerang, even the Magic Beans cannot be used as an adult. However, Deku Nuts, Bombs, the Ocarina, of course, as well as several other items still can be, like the magic spells in the bottles, for instance. So adult Link here is going to have an entirely different set of equipment. Mind you, I say adult, he's closer to a teenager, I believe. I want to say the rough ages for Child Link and Adult Link are around 11 and 18. Somewhere about there, give or take a year in either direction. But as you can see by the distance there, Death Mountain's looking messed up. The market's now completely messed up and full of redeads. The world's in kind of a rough shape. Mind you, I say the world, but I mostly just mean Hyrule Castletown Market and some of the other areas around the world. Much of Hyrule is actually a little bit safer. I'll go more over that in a moment, because we do have this little place we can enter. What was once the weird storage room is now this guy's house. Oh, you are quite an energetic young man. You're brave and handsome, too. Your name is Link, isn't it? Don't be surprised. I can read people's minds. If I looked as good as you, I could run a different kind of business. My shop is the only ghost shop in Hyrule. Because of the great Ganondorf, it is a fine time for a business like this. Oh, I can only hope the world gets even worse. The ghosts, called Poes, are spirits of the concentrated hatred that appear in the fields and graveyard. They hate the world. Young man, if you catch a Poe, I'll pay a lot of money for it. That goes into the thing I was about to bring up. Hyrule Field is actively safer in the future than it was in the past. There's no longer any stalled children at night. I believe most of the P-hats are gone. The only enemies on the world map are certain types of Poes that only show up at certain types of places. Poes being the ghost things like the Composer Brothers we bought are fought back in the graveyard in, like, what was that, part 4, I think? Now, while we are heading to Kakariko Village, I'm just going to tell you right now, most of the rest of this part is me doing a little optional side quest that's going to make this latter portion of the game a lot more efficient. Why? Well, Kakariko itself actively hasn't seen many changes over the past 7 years. The biggest difference is that most of the NPCs from Hyrule Castletown Market have now migrated over to here. Be they in the houses or out in the field, you can now talk to them all over the place. It's like no one actively died. In fact, Mamamoo Yan is now in here, even. Look at him, the man with the beard. I think he was fired from his job at the ranch. He's always just lazing around, morning, noon, and night. He's an awfully carefree guy during such hard times. Guy from the ranch? Talon! What the hell? I'm doing all right. Sorry to make you worry. If the owner of the ranch gets fired from a ranch, that's not a good situation. We should actively head over there and check it out. Now, usually I'd be speeding up my treks through Hyrule Field, and moving forward, I generally am going to be again anyway. But one thing I've never been quite certain about with the Adult Link sections is if he actively walks faster. My brain wants to say he is, but I think that's just a visual trick because we're taller and therefore the world just seems smaller. Backwalking for right now is still going to be the most efficient way of moving around. That is, if you're not doing the side quest I'm about to do. If you're doing the side quest I'm about to do, this backwalking is going to be made very obsolete very shortly. Well, if you heard that, that's a Poe. There's one. You can't even really fight them that easily right now. Just run away from them if they ever pop up. Lon Lon Ranch is looking a bit drearier than usual. Mind you, it's also a bit closer to night than it should be in my eyes. But, oh well. If we check the stable where Ingo was in the past, that... Malon. Hi. Oh, a visitor. It's been a long time since we had a visitor here. Where'd you come from? Since Ganondorf came, people in the castle town have gone, places have been ruined, and monsters are wandering everywhere. Mr. Ingo's just using the ranch to gain Ganondorf's favor. Everyone seems to be turning evil. But Dad, he was kicked out of the ranch by Mr. Ingo. If I disobey Mr. Ingo, he'll treat the horses so badly. So, there's nothing I can do. Well, I'll just have to have a little conversation with Mr. Ingo then. My inner southerner's coming out by doing that voice for longer than 15 seconds. Can you tell I was born in Florida? And, Ingo, you're wearing a much flashier outfit. There are some people in Kakariko spreading rumors that I cheated Talon out of the ranch, but... Don't be ridiculous. That guy Talon was weak. I, the hard-working Ingo, poured so much energy into this place. I don't want any strangers like you saying anything bad about me. Listen, the great Ganondorf recognized my obvious talents and gave the ranch to me. I will raise a fine horse and win recognition from the great Ganondorf. Say, young man, do you want to ride one of my fine horses? Pay me 10 rupees and you can ride. Sure, why not? Do you want to hear how to ride? No, I can tell them fine enough. Thank you so much. So now you can wander around the ranch and ride a horse for about a minute's time. However, you might notice there's a particular horse in the distance with a distinct coloration that's very familiar. So play a Pona song and that horse will actively approach you. Ingo wants you to use the horse who's just to the left of him with the saddle on, but good old Epona's here for us. And now we can actively ride her since she's big enough. Epona controls like a bit of a tankier Link. Her turns are a bit slower, especially if she's gained up some momentum. But you might notice that there are carrots on screen. You can press the A button to use one of those up and speed her up. If you gain enough speed and are generally straight on with certain fences, you can even jump over them. The taller the fence, though, the harder the jump is to make. On average, I'd say you need maybe 1 speed to jump over lower fences and 2 speed units, so to speak, to jump over fences about this height. You can use up the carrots at your own leisure, but if you use them all up, it takes longer to regenerate them since they regenerate all at once than if you were to just wait after using maybe 3 where they regenerate 1 at a time. If you pace out your speed ups, you can get some pretty consistent speed up with Epona. If you don't, you're going to be going fast, then slow, fast, then slow over and over. Hey, time's up, young man. You only paid 10 rupees. You've played around long enough. Alright. However, immediately after that, you want to say that you want to ride again, as I've jump cut past in here. Why? The second time onwards, if you talk to Ingo on top of a horse, you can get some special dialogue. Just climb on top of her and let's head on over there. I'd say starting up Epona takes longer more often than not than actually moving with her, though. You're getting better. How about a little race with me? 1 lap around the corral with that horse. Let's make a little wager, say 50 rupees? Sounds good. And now we have to do a horse race around the corral. 1 lap, so it's not even that long, but one thing I will say is that you should generally stay towards the right side of the screen, as that means you're making a smaller circle, meaning you're generally just moving faster. Ingo also tends to push his horses really far really quickly, so he uses up his carrot bar, so to speak, very quickly. Space out your carrot usage, and you should win this race with no honest-to-God problem. It's really easy. I want to say he crosses the finish line at around second 20 or second 30 or so. Shoot! If the great Ganondorf found out about this humiliation... Hey, you! How about another race? If you win, you can keep the horse! And now we have to win a second time. He actively tries being a dick this time around, though. He races better, and he actively tries to cut you off more times than I can count. However, you stay towards the center, you can generally win again. It's still an easy race, just harder. What's up with that horse? Is that Epona? How did you tame that wild horse right under my nose? I was going to present that horse to the great Ganondorf, but I betted on the race and lost. Shoot! As I promised, I'll give the horse to you. However, I'll never let you leave this ranch. And he closes the gate on us like a dickhead. What the game wants you to do now is jump over one of the fences in the ranch. Either one straight in front of me. Either the fence straight in front of me like that, or any of the ones around the edges of the corral. The ones around the edges of Lon Lon Ranch are actually easier to jump over, though, as the one in front has a very specific angle you need to head at, which is basically straight on. It's just outright harder. I was actually surprised I managed to do it there. And if we head back into the ranch after that, and make it daytime, because no one's out at nighttime, obviously, we can see Ingo's looking like he's back in his old attire. Hi there. How are you? I am Ingo. I feel so honored to be allowed to work here. I guess the shock of losing to us and then losing the horse kind of broke his brain. And Malin is now back out near the corral. And she's even singing again. Everything's happy. Whoa! Thank you so much for the other day. I haven't even asked you your name yet. Really? Link! That's what I thought. You're the fairy boy from the forest. That was years ago. Do you remember me? You do? I was sure it was you because Epona remembered you. Oh, I have to tell you about Mr. Ingo. He was afraid that the evil king might find out that Epona had been taken away. It really upset him. But one day, all of a sudden, he went back to being a normal, nice person. Now my dad's coming back. I can't believe it, but peace is returning to this ranch. It's all because of you. I owe you so much. Thank you, Link. No problem. And now if we talk to her again, Epona looks great. It looks like you were able to tame her too. How about trying your skills with Epona on an obstacle course? I'll time you for 2 laps. It's pretty challenging. If you miss jumping a fence in the proper order, you'll fail. How about it? Do you want to try? Sure, let's try it. The current record is 50 seconds. First, try to beat this record. If you can beat the record, I'll give you a present. Give it your best shot, okay? Alright, let's get started. Now this is an element of technically true 100% I often forget about, because the item we get from this isn't even a real item, so to speak. 2 laps around the corral, now with fences placed around it, in the order of smallest, medium, small, small, medium, medium, large, large, I believe? Gain some speed, stay towards the center, and if you miss jumping over a fence, just jump over the next fence and fail, because you're just going to save yourself some time doing that. Generally speaking, I'd say a lap takes around 23 seconds if done optimally, or at least not with like human optimization, not task optimization. This is honestly hard to do, and it's not even that worth it. I'm only doing it so I can show it off. In fact, I think some other 100% LPs have just outright not done this because it really doesn't do much. Still, it's easy enough. Just make sure you hit your jumps right. You did it! 48 seconds is the new course record. I have to give you a present to commemorate your new record. The present is a little too heavy to give to you here, so I'll have it delivered to your house. Bet you can't wait to see it. Alright, since she doesn't outright tell us, I'll just tell you for a fact because I'm never showing it off. For winning that, she puts a cow in your house in Kokiri Forest. So now if you ever want some free Lon Lon milk, you can just head over there and play Epona's song. It's not too important. But with that, and us gaining a nice little steed to carry us around Hyrule going forward, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 15, we're going to be heading back to Kakariko to see what awaits us there, as Sheik told us. See you guys then.